guys, it's Miss Katelyn from the Bradley Public Library. I'm here today to show you how to do messy food art. Today we're going to do something straight from under the sea. So as you can see here, I have our savory ones, and over here I have our sweet ones. To get started, we emailed out a list to everybody that signed up for food art with all of the ingredients that you'll need, but just in case you didn't get it and you still want to make them, what you'll need for the savory art is rice cakes. I have some whipped cream cheese, some gel food coloring, some broccoli, and some peppers. Now to get started with the savory ones, you're going to want to take, I'm just going to set these aside, a rice cake. I have two, maybe I'll set this one aside too. And set it on your plate. Then you're going to take your whipped cream cheese and you're going to mix in some of your gel food coloring. It's a little tough. It took me about 2 minutes to stir it in, but you just keep stirring and eventually it'll get nice and mixed in there. Or if you want, you can leave it a little bit marbled. It gives it sort of a wavy look. It's really pretty. It's up to you. So I'm going to take some of that and I'm going to spread it on my rice cake. This would be a really fun, easy part for the younger ones to do. They could spread on the frosting. It's not really frosting, but they could help mix it. Now that I have that on there, over here I have broccoli, and I have a piece that I've already broken off that I'm going to trim. I'm just going to trim some little trees off of it. Honestly, you probably don't need the knife. Broccoli is really hard to break, and I'm going to try to just break some of it off. There we go. So I have my little trees. I'm going to stick them up in the background. You could also use chives or green peppers, those would work. And over here I have some peppers that I'm going to cut a wedge off of. You can use any color you want. I chose to use all three colors just because I liked it. Thought it was pretty to have more of a rainbow. And I'm going to cut little triangles out of the top, leaving the base. I have about 1 centimeter of base. So I could stick this up maybe behind the tree like that, or I could take another rice cake, which is what I'm gonna do, and spread some of that blue cream cheese on there. Just a little bit more. Here we go. I'm gonna set this one right here. I'm gonna stand this guy up like this. I think I'm going to cut a red one out too. Same thing, I'm going to trim off a little bit of the top, set that to the side, and then I'm going to cut little triangles out of the top of it, being very careful not to cut my fingers, of course. This is definitely a part for the grown-ups, but most of this can be done by the kids. Pull out those pieces, and I'm going to stand that up like that. And now you can add your goldfish. I have regular goldfish and pretzel goldfish. Those would both work for this. Oh, nope, we stand these ones up. That's right. Trying to make sure the little smiley faces are showing. There's that one. And we'll use some pretzels maybe on this one. I like pretzels because they can be used with sweet or savory. So there you have it. There's our savory art. I'm going to set that aside with the other ones. All these little fishes swimming in the sea. Take my plate back. Now we're going to do the sweet one. For the sweet one, you will need graham crackers. I have some graham crackers that I crushed in a bowl just using the bottom of the spoon. You will need a 32-ounce tub of non-fat Greek yogurt, vanilla flavored. You will need, not the cream cheese, some Cool Whip, and a box of instant vanilla pudding. I only used half of each of these and I mixed them in this bowl with some of the blue food dye. I made quite a bit, as you can see. The instant pudding is yellow, so you will need to add a little bit more of the blue food coloring, or you could leave it as it is. When you put a little bit of it in, it made sort of like a seafoam green color. It was pretty, it worked. I just chose to make mine a little bit darker. So I'm gonna scoop some of this out. You wanna cover about 3/4 of your graham cracker. And probably one little spoonful will cover like the whole thing. It's pretty thick on there. Okay, now I'm gonna take some of my crushed graham cracker and I'm going to sprinkle it across the bottom. Only about 2 centimeters worth. I don't want it to go too far up. Now I can take sprinkles. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. I'm sorry if I didn't. You can take sprinkles and you can make all kinds of fun stuff at the bottom. So you can make stars, you can make coral reefs and seaweed. I'm gonna make a little tree just because I like the way they look. I am working upside down, so bear with me. Get a little bit taller. This is definitely a messy food art, and that's okay. You don't want to push your sprinkles in too far because then they kind of sink down into the frosting. You want to lay them on top if you can, but it's really not a big deal if they go in. This is about fun, not perfection. So another little branch here. I will say that the sprinkles that I have are not as bright as I would like. So if you can find bright sprinkles, they'll definitely show up a lot better. But these are all I could find. So I'm gonna just let those sprinkles fall to the plate. Now I have sweet goldfish for this one. These ones are s'mores, so they're chocolate and regular graham crackers and then little itty bitty marshmallow fish. So I'm gonna put a couple of those on there. This little guy I'm gonna put right down by the bottom next to the tree. And I'm gonna put this chocolate one right here. So once you have your fish on there, you could use sprinkles for this. I chose blueberries just because blueberries taste really good with the dip that we made for the frosting. You could also use just regular cake frosting for this. I chose not to. It's not my favorite thing. I like the dip much better. So I'm gonna pick out the smallest little tiny blueberries that I can find. And we're gonna use those to make little air bubbles floating up to the top. I don't know if you can see that. Here's my sweet fish art. And that's all. That's it. Have fun. I would love to see your masterpieces. You could leave a comment with a photo. That'd be fantastic. Enjoy, guys. Thank you.